Hello there, Lunar Squadron. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about every single creature confirmed so far across all of the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga trailers. There are actually a ton of creatures that have been confirmed so far. Honestly, I didn't realize it was that many. Just to give you guys a head count, there's about 12, maybe 13, depending on how you count and how you define creatures. I know, for example, we didn't count Tusken Raiders as animals, but we all know how Anakin would classify Tusken Raiders.
They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals.
Now, before we get into the video, Nick, have you been wanting to thank Bosk for helping you out with your Wookiee problem?
I mean, if I have to, I guess.
Then look no further than most Trandoshans' favorite food, the Dochian Jellyfish. The Dochian Jellyfish is actually one of the most common fauna found on Trandosha, and it just so happens to be Bosk's favorite food. Now, I don't know what the hell that has to do with Bosk, but here he is.
I shall make you a trophy for my ship.
Alright, Bosk, enjoy your fish, you lizard, or whatever you are. Now, let's just get into this video, alright?
So just as we expect, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is going to be quite the encyclopedic Star Wars video game. That means that we expect this game to have pretty much all there is to have about wildlife across the Star Wars galaxy, and honestly, so far, the trailers have promised nothing short of including a lot of wildlife. We're going to start off with wildlife that you can actually ride and use like a vehicle in the game. The first instance we have of that is the Orback. You can see that Finn is riding the Orback in this scene from Episode 9. Nick, what do we know about Orback?
Due to its home world being Kef Bir and the environmental restrictions on Kef Bir, the dietary restrictions of the Orback actually were herbivorous in nature and not carnivorous. So, just a fun fact for you about Orbacks.
That's fascinating. Now, the next animal that we have that you can actually ride in-game is the Bantha. We've all heard about Banthas, and as you guys know, one of the special LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga minifigures is Luke Skywalker with the blue milk, and the carton on the blue milk, you can see it in the trailer too, has a Bantha on it, whereas the original LEGO milk carton has a cow on it. So I think that's a really cool detail. Nick, throw us a fun fact about Banthas while we're at it.
So Banthas were quite large animals, but most people do not know how large they actually were, when in fact they came in at roughly 2.5 meters tall, and usually roughly around 4,000 kilograms in total mass.
The next animal that's pretty big that you can ride in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is the Dewback. We actually see Luke Skywalker riding a Dewback through the streets of Mos Eisley in the latest gameplay trailer, so we know for a fact that you're going to be able to take the Dewback for a spin in this game. Now, you don't want to be riding an animal that you didn't know anything about, so Nick, you want to help us out?
Now, of course I would like to help you out with some fun facts, and perhaps the most interesting fun fact when it comes to the Dewback is actually the way that its name is spelled. It is spelled D-E-W-B-A-C-K-S and not D-U-E, much like the cold refreshing drink, Mountain Dew. So the next time that you crack open a cold and refreshing Mountain Dew, think about this fascinating animal from Tatooine.
Of course, if you are in a colder environment, such as Hoth, you can't ride a Dewback. You're going to want something more acclimated for that environment, and if you were in such an environment, look no further than the Tauntaun. We clearly see a Tauntaun being used here to traverse a pretty large distance on Hoth, going through the tundra. Now, of course, we all know how bad these things smell on the outside.
I thought they smelled bad. on the outside.
Not only did they smell bad, the diet that they enjoyed was quite bad as well, as they usually enjoy, due to the harsh environment of Hoth, things such as lichen, small ice plants, and Hoth hogs. Not a very fun diet for a not very good smelling animal.
Now, there is one final creature or animal that we see that actually the Kaminoans can be seen riding in the trailers. It is the Iowa. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the name of this animal. However, this is how it is spelled. You can see clearly in the background on Kamino that Kaminoans are riding this creature. I wonder if we're going to be able to ride this creature as we traverse Kamino. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think. What do you think, Nick?
To be honest with you, Andreas, after much thought, I honestly have no idea. But what I do know is that Iowas also went by another name, and that is air whales. And that is just an incredible name for these amazing and beautiful creatures.
I actually didn't know that at all. So you learn something new on Lunar Squadron every day. One other classification of animal or species in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, they're not going to be helpful to you. You can't really ride these. Or are you going to be able to? I guess it remains to be seen. However, what we do know is that this classification are the more dangerous creatures. I think the first of which is the Rancor. Definitely very dangerous animal. If you ever come across one in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, you might want to run the other way. I really wonder in this game, are you going to be able to control the Rancor like you were able to in LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens? If you guys have played that game, you know how much fun that was. Nick, what exactly do we know about the Rancor?
Actually, Andreas, I'm going to have to correct you, but that's okay. I would not expect someone as uneducated as yourself in the Rancor species to know something like this. Despite popular belief, Rancors, despite their intimidating appearance, were actually quite benign in nature and would be taught to be violent. So they're not as dangerous as one would think. But again, I would not expect someone as inexperienced as you to know this, so I forgive you.
Thanks, Nick. He's very informative and also humble. The next hostile animal in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga isn't quite as hostile as Nick. However, it is pretty damn hostile, and that is the Reek. I actually didn't notice, but you could see a Reek in the back of the arena on Geonosis, clearly in this gameplay trailer. It looks like he's kind of just chilling there, not really animated. Maybe his head moves back and forth. Anyway, we don't know much about how this animal is going to operate in-game, whether or not you can ride it, just like Anakin does in Episode 2, or whether you can control it altogether and just mow down some droids. That'd be fun as well. But we do know some fun facts about Reeks because of Nick, right?
Of course we do. In fact, perhaps the most interesting fun fact when it comes to Reeks is that they were actually herbivorous in nature. And they were taught to be violent and were taught to be omnivores. So, the Reek that you see in Attack of the Clones was actually taught to be like that. It is a shame what the Geonosians have put this beautiful species through now, isn't it?
Now, the next relatively hostile creature that we see in LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga is the Opc Killer. You probably know it better as the Big Gooberfish, which is what Jar Jar Binks calls it because he's very illiterate.
Oh, gooberfish! Big gooberfish! Huge on teeth!
There's always a bigger fish.
Master Qui-Gon Jinn might have been more right than he knows, as the Big Gooberfish is officially recorded as the third largest predator on Naboo. So the next time Mr. Liam Neeson calls you up and tries to lay some philosophy on you, you might want to listen to him, because he's probably right.
Now, this next set of creatures in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga aren't particularly helpful. They're also not particularly hostile to you. They're just kind of filling the atmosphere. Now, for all we know, you might be able to play as some of these creatures. However, so far, we kind of just see them lingering in the background or featured in cutscenes in these trailers. The first one of these creatures is the Porg, infamously seen on Octu, all over the freaking place, and eventually they find their way into the Millennium Falcon 2. It's kind of messy. However, you might be able to actually control some of these. Who knows? However, what do we know about these creatures in general, Nick?
Young Porgs were actually referred to as Porglets, and they usually were hatched in pairs. The more you know.
Wow. That is incredible, Nick. Now, the next creature that features in the background of LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga. If you blinked, you might have missed this one because it is the Womp Rat. You can actually see a Womp Rat hopping across the hot desert sand on Tatooine in this brief clip. Let me know if you guys saw this in the comments. I'm really glad that TT Games is taking the time to really fill these worlds with the flora and fauna of Star Wars by putting in little features such as this Womp Rat running across this busy Mos Eisley street. Now, Nick, what exactly do we know about Womp Rats? Give us a fun fact, will you?
Now, Womp Rats were actually native to Tatooine. However, they did not have many fans, as most moisture farmers considered them to be quite annoying, including those moisture farmers who usually hunted them for sport, and when they were not hunting them for sport, were usually whining about having to go to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
But I was going into Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
Who knows, maybe in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, there might be some achievement that you can unlock by shooting Womp Rats which run throughout the streets. That would be pretty cool. Now, there are also some creatures which you don't particularly see in frame in the trailers. However, Nick and I have suspected that they might have been lurking beneath the surface. We are referring to the dragon snake. You can see clearly that in a few of the Dagobah scenes in the trailers that there are what appear to be bubbles that surface from the swamps on Dagobah. Now, these bubbles appear to be from the dragon snake. If you guys remember from Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, when R2-D2 falls into the swamp, he is hurtled back out of the swamp by a friendly dragon snake. Who knows, maybe if you fall into the swamp in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, you could find yourself tussling with a dragon snake, just like R2 had to in Empire Strikes Back.
Now, the most interesting fun fact when it comes to this fascinating creature is the fact that it is called the dragon snake, because up to this point, I had always just called it the Dagobah swamp monster, because I had no idea. And the fact that it is called the dragon snake is both really cool and incredibly intimidating. I'm very afraid of this thing, and the fact that it's called a dragon snake doesn't help. This thing's a badass. You should be scared of it.
I'm not afraid.
You will be. You will be.
You also see far in the background a few birds in the sky of Naboo. I'm not sure what type of birds these are. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys randomly know any birds in Naboo. And then the final animal that we have in the LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga trailers is actually a stuffed animal. You can see that Anakin is holding it. If you guys know what creature this stuffed animal is based on, please let us know. I'm not sure if it's just an alien teddy bear or something, but if it actually is based on a creature from the Star Wars universe, let us know. We weren't able to find it, but that does it. That is every single creature, animal, stuffed animal confirmed so far in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Please let Nick and I know which animals and creatures you are most excited to interact with in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Do you guys think we're actually going to get to control some of these? Like, do you think we can play as Rancors and Wampas, such as in The Force Awakens? Go ahead, let us know in the comments down below. We really do love talking about these more fringe topics about the game, because it is all of these details that will inevitably populate this expansive game that will really bring LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga to life and make it rise above the rest of the Star Wars games out there. We really do have hope that this game will be super immersive and feature some pretty cool creatures that we will all learn a thing or two about. It is an encyclopedic game after all. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on the video. And if you do feel so inclined, you are all welcome to enlist in the Lunar Squadron. All you have to do is hit that little red button. Bosk will greatly appreciate it. And while you're at it, you might as well hand him a Dochian Jellyfish. That's going to do it for today, and we will see you all next time.